Finally, they don't reach courts. Peter Obi don't write petition against Bolæ Tinubu. But wetin me no understand, this presidentship for Africa, na die or do affair. For person will be saying they use walking stick, they waka one can lead us like Nigerians will be. No, now we don't pass that place now. Nigerians are ready now to just manage themselves. They know what they want now. So apart from that, the Nigerian youth, they're asking that they should cancel and arrest the next chairman. Peter Obi they draw they go leke. The man will be say baba we local. And now we go see waiting court go talk, because if court no talk, well, Nigerians will have to do it for themselves.
Here in Nigeria, one of the defeated opposition candidates in the presidential election has formally challenged the results in a petition filed at a tribunal in the capital, Abuja. Peter Obi of the Labour Party came third in last month's poll behind Atiku Abubakar and the winner, Bolæ Tinubu of the All Progressives Congress. A spokesperson for Mr. Obi's presidential campaign said that their petition argues that Mr. Tinubu should not have been eligible to run for the top office, and also raises questions about the processes leading to the outcome of the election and the announcement of a winner by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Mr. Abubakar, who ran for president with the People's Democratic Party, has also vowed to challenge the election results. It comes as the ruling APC claimed victory in 15 of the 28 governorship polls held at the weekend, with some states still to be called. Well, Arise political editor and director of news, Sumner Sambo, has been monitoring developments as he would, and joins me in the studio right now. I don't even think you're doing anything else but monitoring.
Of course, sir.
Yeah, well, but listen, this is the next phase in Nigeria's leadership tussle. It's been launched in the courts. Tell us more by Peter Obi.
Yeah, I mean, it's so good to see that they've been able to meet the deadline. I'm so happy about that, because I was afraid for them initially that they may not be able to meet the deadline because of the challenges they had with accessing the election materials, and then, of course, INEC being a little bit let me just say, trying to pretend as if they were not going to give them access until, public opinion and pressure from the Labour Party and its presidential candidate actually forced them to do that. So I'm so happy with this, but I'd expected more, prayers to be granted, more than these 5 that they are requesting at the moment, because the controversial issues of the IREF, that's the Resolve Viewing Portal, doesn't necessarily appear here. And a lot of Nigerians are actually surprised that that platform, which was the center of all the agitations that the Labour Party and its presidential candidate have been saying.
So what are those 5 issues?
Yeah, so those 5 issues, he's actually asking that the presidential election should be cancelled and there should be a fresh one, and that in the fresh conduct of the polls, that the APC's Bolæ Tinubu and his vice presidential candidate Kashim Shettima should not be there, because he had listed that the nomination process, including of the vice presidential candidate of the APC, Kashim Shettima, did not follow through thorough procedures. And then, of course, he's saying that they did not win the required vote that was expected from the nation's capital, that's Abuja, where the constitution clearly states that for anyone to emerge winner, there has to be someone who, there has to be at least 25% of the vote from the Federal Capital Territory, which has become very controversial because there's a Supreme Court judgment which actually stated that the Federal Capital Territory should be regarded as a state now. So in law, it should be the 37th state of the Federation. And so it's become controversial with senior lawyers like Femi Falana saying that since the Supreme Court judgment, there's no longer any need for you to say 24 and 25% from the FCT. And then he goes on to say that the election itself did not meet the guidelines set out by INEC itself, and then, of course, the Electoral Act, and so on. So the controversial one is the one that we are taught. And in my own thinking, and from what I've heard others saying, it looks like the Labour Party and its presidential candidate didn't have enough facts to actually back that idea or that particular issue of
and that's
the result viewing portal.
That's
the results not coming in on
yes,
time.
That's a critical question, isn't it? Because, I mean, this is beyond the court of public opinion. This is the court of law.
Yeah,
and you've
you
got to have
deal with
evidence
facts,
to back up whatever
and
it
all
is
of
you're
that,
saying.
yes. And then your petition will be handed over to your opponents, so they'll see all the loopholes and all of that. Same way the opponents' submission will be handed over to them to preview and all of that. So, when it comes to law, once there's no evidence, I mean, even if it's true, to be thrown out.
Well, let me just say that we have the vice presidential candidate of the Labour Party coming in to Arise News this evening. It'll be interesting to see what he has to say. But the Electoral Commission, INEC, has acknowledged that there were major technical hitches which affected the uploading of the election results on its server. But that's not an admission of wrongdoing or guilt, is it?
It can't necessarily be, I mean, because even the courts themselves would a little bit have some problems challenging those issues. Why? Because if you look at it from what is there now, INEC is admitting that it had glitches. Now, glitches could actually occur if we have a situation whereby the electoral body itself is having situations whereby it's becoming difficult to be able to talk.
Be careful, it's not your girlfriend on the phone. It could cause problems for you.
Actually. All right, so the situation we have at the moment is that the glitches cannot be said to be something that you can point to as a violation. It's just if the court actually says, or the law says that you're supposed to bring something up, but due to some challenges here and there, you're unable to bring it on time. As long as you bring it, you fulfill the law. But the problem here is that duration, you cannot say it's a total violation. That's why they kept using the word glitch. Now that glitch, it's left for both the petitioners to actually prove if indeed a glitch can be deemed to be a violation of the law. So it's sort of very difficult because they actually uploaded the results, but the only problem is that they didn't do it swiftly like they had said that they will do. And then what if INEC also brings up something that they actually were having technical challenges? You will have seen that the government tried to create some alibi for them that there were several cyber attacks and all of that, which they can use as an excuse.
Absolutely.
But it's not necessarily a violation of the law because, I mean, INEC could actually defend it by saying that they tried their best to upload the results on time, but the control of the internet is not within their own purview. So it's a dicey situation, but I mean, everyone knows that they failed in their own guidelines because their own guidelines practically said that you must do that. You must upload it timely. So I pity Peter Obi and the Labour Party. I mean, it's something that's very touchy. All of us would have wanted that to happen. But when you not even hear the people who crafted the law saying that it should have been a transfer and not a transmission, then the judges would be a little bit confused themselves.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Sumner, thank you very much indeed. Arise political editor and director of news, Sumner Sambo there.